All right, friends. I actually already recorded this one and it went great. Everything went basically according to how you would expect it to go. I made 180K in about 25 minutes plus another 5 minutes of offloading and talked too long. So, not quite as profitable as the others. Bunch of caveats included with it, but I'll walk you through all the basics and actually have recorded audio this time. So, we'll see how this one goes. See how aberrative it is from that what felt like a pretty average one. So I dropped into Lyria on that one, found a rock within about 5-ish minutes in a cluster, which felt pretty normal to me. Sometimes it takes longer. Sometimes you drop in and find it right away. Sometimes you find a cluster of rocks where there are two good ones that you can crack. You're usually looking for, and I've heard this from multiple sources, 45-45. So a mass of 4,500 with a quant percentage of 45% will fill you up. So if you find two 4,500 mass rocks that are 22.5%, then that's going to fill up your hold. But I find that just like finding the thing, grabbing it, going works out really well. This actually also is not a great one-to-one comparison in terms of time because I haven't had a chance or the money to upgrade my drive. So we're going just a little bit slower than we normally would, but this will just give you a good sense for how quant mining works. Now, important things here, you want to make sure that your ship has the latest and greatest, best ever Lancet, and I think it's good. Finally, a name matches the activity in Star Citizen. So, but the Lancet will really help you with quant mining. So basically, like you can have modules and all kinds of other special wingdings and special McJigger diggers. I did get a filter XL module just to make it so if I am snatching up rocks that have some inert substance in them, I can reduce the total amount that's Im, imported into my vehicle. And it only slows down your extraction rate by a small percentage, and it's really not that big of a deal in my experience. Maybe if you're like doing massive hauls with a mole and you gotta scoop them all up really quick before your ship blows up, that might be different. But for me, this is the way to go. I'm also going to link a video down below in the description that I found to be really helpful. It's like an hour-long deep dive in everything about mining, where to go, how to do it. Some people are really big Aaron's Halo fans who really like to go out into the asteroid belt to find random rocks. They've experienced griefing on Lyria. It's never been a thing for me. I have my chat turned off right now, but I usually do. So you do with that whatever you want to. So I like to pick Shubin Mining SLA5 is a good one here. It's in an open spot on the planet where I can see that it's well lit. It's also, I can tell that there are what looks to be like some mountains up here, and that's usually helpful. And the flat ground is often just doesn't have that many resources on it. And I can pick this one and fly into a well lit area that's not near any other facilities, so I have plenty of room to go out and find what I'm looking for. Oh, this one might actually be on the other side of the planet, so that's cool. Still well lit. Really need to improve the 3D models on these. All right, so now I like to increase my speed. Using the wrong one, like using my targeting one. Man, I've been out of town for a hot minute. Okay, this looks like a good option here. I can just see from the naked eye that this has multiple ones, which means one of these is going to be quant, or just they all actually will be quant. Then what you want to do is actually swap over to your mining. Oh crap, it's been a hot minute since I played. I was out of town for a funeral actually, so you'll just look over, see how this says granite deposit. I just want to show some other ones so that you know, like, oh, you don't always drop in on a massive quant. Okay, so you can do this however you want. So once you fully scan all the rocks, then they'll just be saved to your computer's RAM, basically, on your mining vessel, and it'll tell you what they are. I'd personally, whenever I see something with a mass over 5,000, I just don't look at it. Luckily, the quant there was 5%. But a lot of times it'll be like 80% quantanium. And you'll be like, well, shh, Nikes. That sucks. All right, 27. We have a really good rock there. This is going to be worth mining. So we're definitely going to be chopping this up. The thing that we're looking for now is just to see if there are any others. Again, you can't cut through anything bigger than 5,000 unless the instability, unless the resistance is really low. And usually if it's low resistance, it's garbage values of quant. So that one we technically could cut up. No, that was 7,300. If it's lower than 5%, I usually just don't even do it. It's not worth my time. So like even though that one I could cut, it's only 2%. So not worth my time. It's better to go grab one rock, fly back, dump it off, come back, find a different spot to go mine. Sometimes you land in these and all the rocks will be amazing. And you just have to keep a mental note of where you are. Yeah, this one. So this one's 6,700 and is a 44% quant rock. So if I had a buddy, if we dual cracked this rock, there would be almost enough to fill both of our holds from that one rock. So if I had somebody with a mole, or if I was like flying with a team, any of those things, that'd be a good one to go for. Okay, so this one's 32. So I found 2 really good rocks. We're going to be able to crack 2 complete rocks here. And we're going to be able to strip them down, bring them back, make some money. So first things first, you just want to find your rock. You'll check that effective range on the left side. See how it says sufficient, sufficient, sufficient. You definitely want this to be optimal. You're basically going to be making out with some rocks. I really recommend having like a toggle of some kind to do this. Doing the scroll wheel on your mouse is just not a doable thing. You can set it to like your volume roller thing on your keyboard. You can plug in some other kind of knobbed device of any kind. I have VKB Gladiators, and they have a really convenient, what's kind of like a scrolling lever, and that's really, really helpful for me. All right, so keeping it in optimal on a quant rock is not an easy task. Just don't kid yourself, especially when you're cutting on your own. You really have to give it a lot of juice or not nearly enough. So once this happens, desyncs are problems. You will run into issues where the desync will just be a 1 second or a 50 millisecond lag, and that'll really wreck your life. All right. The biggest, like it will kill you if you go too far into red, but you really don't want to have it too far into red for 2 reasons. Okay, so see, this one is 22%. This one's 6,000. That one was going to be a really solid rock too. So this would be a great one. Like this would be a great set of rocks to come back to with some teammates, or you pick up what you can, then you flag everyone and say, hey, come get you some. We're only at sufficient. We need to get into optimal. And you can't, there are usually like weak spots in the rock. You can kind of like move around to find those. Some people just like to paint funny pictures on them. Some people hate that other people do that. You know what? I'm not going to tell you how to mine, to be honest. For 2 reasons. One, I don't know that there really is a great science to it, having tried out a bunch of those methods myself. And 2, you're playing a freaking game. Do the thing that feels fun. For me, coming and just chilling out, just relaxing to some basic mining is really cathartic for me. I have a sense of control. I have a sense of, with only a minor sense of urgency. It feels really nice after I've had a hard day at work. Just come hop in, relax, and do some mining. So that's why I think, I still think bounty hunting is probably one of the best, most fungible ways to make money in the game, just because it's so easy to hop on for 20 minutes and knock out 200K, or at least 100K in value. But mining is just really nice for when you need to mix it up. You feel like your life is just a little wonky. All right, we're having some issues here. that I can't actually see where it is. And listening is not always the best strategy. We're into it. I want to target probably 70s. 65 seems to be working for us. And it will jump up and down very quickly. You really do have to baby quant mining quite a lot. Sometimes you can find that sweet spot and it's a fairly stable rock. Do also find it's helpful to go into to reset your speed limiter when you get down here and to go into VTOL. So when they're purple, that means you can scoop them up. So this one is not one that I'll prioritize. That one is only around 9%, so kind of a bad option. This one is 9%, kind of a bad option. I'll probably cut it up still because it is a yellow one. But you're looking for the ones that are 100% or somewhere in that range. So I'm guessing the good ones are going to be down underneath. So what I'm going to do here is just break up all the yellows. And even if it's full of garbage and you don't care about it, still don't let it go into red because it will just explode and shoot everything everywhere. Usually these smaller pieces go really quickly. I just jump it up to 100, and then once it gets like 75, I'll walk it back to around 50, and then just drop it way down, and then see where it goes. Oh, this one is rough, man. I'm guessing it wants to be at like 10%, but it's just hard for me to track in this terrible, terrible lighting. Sometimes you can just cast your own shadow on it. So I can see the sun is this way, so I'm just going to come over here and see if we can get close enough to cast our own shadow. Or at least like put it in the shadow. No such luck, it doesn't seem like. This is a little bit better. There we go, this is a 56 too. So then basically what I'll do is I'll find the 100% chunks. I'll scoop them all up, and then I'll just try to go down in ranked order of like how high the percentage value of quant was in the rock. But you want to fill up on all the hundreds as much as you can. That got a little dicey. It was a little in the red, and it'll just sometimes explode. It won't. Well, if it's only a little bit, it usually won't kill you. But it'll shoot the rocks everywhere, and it's just agitating. Nobody likes that. Alright, yeah, I'll just try to match up the readout with the shadows. And it will just depend. This I can't give you a percentage because it depends on the stability of the rock, the instability, and it also depends on the size of the chunks, and that is never uniform. So it looks like between 10 and 20 is a sweet spot for chunks. Seemed like it was between 50 and 80 for the full-size rocks in the 4,000 to 4,500 class. Come on, there you go. All right, you can kind of like just blow up the smaller ones if they're garbage and you just need to like shake up some space. It's a good chunk to pick up. All the ones that are outlined in purple are ready to go. I'm just gonna finish cutting this yellow one, and then we'll check. Sometimes there's one stuck underneath the surface. This other video that I posted, he likes to refer to that as the Lyria tax, which I thought was hilarious. Lyria will just steal some of your mining work. That doesn't happen out in the asteroid belts because they don't get trapped under the ground. They definitely do here. So See, this one's all the way down to like probably 9% is the sweet spot. It's just so obnoxious when it dips down because it takes like usually just a little bit of a surge to get it to go up again. And to be honest, I could probably turn off eye tracker for this. I just I like it on my OLED monitor, to be honest, just because I know then it doesn't. See me rotating my ship just to get the sweet spot into the shadow. It also makes it so I feel more hands-on. It will explode. So I usually I still keep it on if it's below like 25% charged. Come on. Let's just try to keep it at 10 here. This is what I'm talking about. Like once it dips down. Come on. And then it's gonna jump up into it. Yeah, stay there. You can also use modules like Stampede to just make this go faster. I kind of enjoy the minigame-ish aspect to it, so. No. And then you can scan each of the chunks. I'm not going to do that because I have 2 rocks. And so I'm just going to get to work on cracking all of them. Let's just check this one. This one's kind of out and away from the rest. Oh. Alright, come on. This one looks like it was all barrel and borace. Man, we are just floating a lot. The winds must be pretty intense. Yeah, usually if it's a purple crack direct, it's usually bad. Yep, barrel borace. This is a good sign though, because it's always a flat percentage out of the total weight of the rock. So the more crappy chunks there are in a high percentage base rock, the higher the percentage of the others. So these are probably going to be 100s. Okay, or at least one of them will be. Okay, this big chunk is probably going to be, yeah. Yep, a 500, almost a 500 mass chunk. 100% Quantanium. And we'll soak this one up first just to show you how much just one big chunk can be valued at. This is like blowing around. It's quite agitating. We're getting some major desync / lag. Always fun to fight that. It's really being sensitive on this rock. Like this one wants to hover at like 5%. Come on, get back in there. Be all sensitive on me, and then when I need you to actually finish. You can see it started to implode a little bit right there, but it was only a little bit into the zone, so we were okay. Alright, there's one under the ground here. This one also looks like it's going to be pretty high. 33%. Not great, but it's not terrible. Sometimes I just like to crack these ones under the ground just to get some movement above the ground. Everybody likes to do it a little bit different. Lucky sevens. No. It's like seven's it. Seven's it. Oh, no, it's not. All right. So once you've got them all broken up, you can go ahead and switch modes. So this one's 100, so we're just going to go ahead and scoop this up. We should have plenty of time. Even though we're running on a slow drive, we're just going to pick up all these 100 chunks. Just to show you where we're at with this. So you can hold 32 SCUs. And just that 500, like 450 mass chunk is probably going to be around like, I don't know. If I was better on the fly calculating and tell you, but I'm guessing it's going to be around 10. Sometimes if they separate a little bit more, you just like, and you crack the 100 and it's apart from everything else, you already know what it is, so you don't even have to scan each of them individually. You can just go ahead and scoop them all up. Alright, so some of these are still yellow. So we do want to keep our eye on this. Okay, this one is yellow and it's 100%. So let's just see if we can rotate that into the shade. So I don't like having to do this. I strongly prefer to do all of my cracking and then all of my extracting. For no other reason than this is a possibility that can happen. Oh my gosh. Just back away. You can just let it cool all the way down and just crack another one. I don't care about cracking that one, and I just leave the other ones that are 0% as still yellow and unbroken, because A, it's a waste of time, and B, you can't extract them when they're in yellow. Okay, let's see if we can get this without like a massive desync right as we're going into green. Come on. Yeah, it's being nasty today. You can see it just jumps up suddenly. That's usually a bad sign. But that's what makes it so thrilling, you know? Just drop it down to 4. So sensitive, man. Okay, this is like a high instability, low mass rocks, which are like the worst. Because you have to just hover it so low. Okay, we already know this is 100, so just as an example, we'll just go ahead and scoop this, and you'll see on right side if we pick up other chemicals or minerals, and we're not bringing in anything. So it's all straight money. Okay, now that we've gotten those ones, I'll check for smaller chunguses or like smaller proportions of quant. This one's 75, so still really good. I'm gonna pick up some barrel and some borace. You're gonna see that start to fill my hold now. Not really things that I want, but you know, it's gonna be less than 1 SCU, so worth it to get all that other quant. All right, so we're done with this rock, so we're gonna fly back to our other one. And note that quant only becomes unstable once it's in your hold, so all of these chunks are still totally safe, totally fine. We're not gonna have any issues with this. They won't. Oh my gosh, man, I gotta get more used to flying the Prospector and get a better engine in this bad boy. Okay. Quartz. I usually just pick a spot. You like the optimal range for extraction can be pretty far. So I'll basically just work through. Okay, so that one does. Once you've scanned them, they will stay in your ship's computer, like your RAM, for, I don't know, maybe a minute. So you'll see if I like snap back this one, it's already scanned. So ones that are like 10%, I don't want quite yet, but I do want to scan them. And I do want to grab them just to fill up, because you can fill your hold with as much as you can carry. It would have been easier to have cracked that other rock first, since the 100% chunks are easiest to like locate and then find the next one off of, if that makes sense. Whereas when you're doing these like 25% chunks, there's going to be a couple that are 75s, some that are 25s, a few that are 30s, you know, not any 100s, and they're usually not always next to each other. They're just kind of broken up and all over the place. So this is not a great quant rock. Even though it was over 20%, it just was bad luck in how it broke up. So, and you can't always know that, and sometimes this part just takes a while longer, so. It looks like the 40s are actually looking pretty good here, which is sad. They do include inert, and we do have a filter XL, so at least we're going to be able to filter out a lot of the garbage, some of the garbage. This one's better. We're just going to take that. That one's close to 70. Or there are no hundreds here, so I'm not. And this is a 186 mass, so there is actually a lot in that one. Also on top of some other ones. So inert. Sounds like a ship warning computer. And you can always just do the quick math on the percentages to be like, oh, okay, am I missing something here? There we go. There's a 100. Get away, get away. Do not want you. Okay, let's see. This one's actually uncracked. But it looks like it is in the nether sphere, so. Oh, there we go. Yeah. So that sucks. I have to hold this one super steady. I don't even think it's penetrating, so. There we go. Like a true surgical job. Oh. Alright, you can blow up the purple ones like you just saw. That does give me access to this, so. I don't want to hover in the red. I want to hover in the green. Ah, stupid ship. The answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. Come on. You can do it. That's too much. That's way too much. Come on. Come on, dude. Just finished. Thank you. I know these chunks are going to be ones I want. I just have to be able to see them. 71. That's... Like, high percentages with their nerd are actually a little bit better than high percentages with other substances, because you can filter XL all that inert material. I have to like search for the nodule here. Sometimes it just won't give you any love. Yeah, it has like this rock on the surface that isn't actually the rock. So we're just missing out on a straight up 100% quant chunk. And sometimes we'll just like blow stuff up around it to try to, like, we can just pump this one full of wood. And see if that gets me like a lock on point here, but I don't think so. I think it's just gone forever. So those suck. We still get some good options here. $25's not great, but it's better than nothing. We are getting close to our max fill zone though. So sometimes you can, if you like put your shadow over it, it'll show you right where the boundary of the rock is. So this one, here we go. And you can see the outline and where it sticks out over the earth. Current stability is at 55%. You'll notice it gets low quickly when you're doing double rocks. I just know that that's normal. You have plenty of time. I find that if you're at 30%, you're usually fine. All right, we took a little while here, but you'll see most of these saved. So now I just flash over them to see which ones. I keep like a mental marker to say like, okay, 25. 25 is the highest. I want 25. If it's above 25, then I'll take it. If it's below 25, I won't. And that pretty much wraps us up. Like maybe it could have been a little bit more methodical. That one was 29 and it was inert materials, so I was gonna get a higher cap there, but it's all pretty close. Honestly, once it's that low, once you're below 50%, it doesn't really matter. Now I will set a location for ARC-L1. If you can, you do want to try to get it for... Oh, it scared the crap out of me. I thought I was like being hailed by pirates. But yeah, it just means you're at 50%, so we're fine. No stress. Just gonna blitz out of here. And I'll just put a bunch of energy to my shields at this point. Just a little bit left in my thrusters, just to top those off. But at this point, the biggest, scariest thing for me usually is not getting ambushed by a mantis. You can often beat a mantis with a prospector. It's actually kind of a fun fight. It's when if they have like buddies or whatever that you have problems, like real human players. But the bigger problem I usually, some people will dogleg it. They'll like jump somewhere else and then come through at a different angle. Whatever, you flow your boat. I usually don't have problems with that. I'll usually just jump straight there. The only problem I run into in terms of danger is me getting a little cocksure and flying into the station on full boost. This thing is a boat, even though it feels fairly nimble in like strafe situations. In terms of like head speed of like going frontwards and backwards, speeding up, slowing down, it moves very it has a lot of mass, and I think that it does actually compensate for once you pick up materials. So it does actually fly, at least to me, and maybe it's just all mental, but to me it feels like it flies differently when you're coming in full than when you're going out empty. So just note that your prior experience might not actually be accurate. All right, we're at about 35 minutes again. I probably could have shaved off like 5 minutes here just in boost, just in having like a competent engine. Yeah, so I like to just set in the second one. Also, like these 15-second cooldowns, these could be down to 3 seconds. if I just was using a BK00, which is what I usually do. It does cost you a little bit more money in Quant. I personally find that to be worthwhile. Yeah, anytime your spooling time is more than your calibration, you have a crap engine. And anytime it's double, you have the worst engine in the game. You know, it's just the engine that comes on this bad boy is just pure garbage. I do also hope that they figure out stealth parts, just because you would want to put on a bunch of stealth parts just to reduce your EM profile. I will watch my speed here. I don't increase my speed limiter. And I know where I'm going, so the central hub here is where you will land. And I'll just keep hitting that button to find out where I'm going until it pops. So I will just basically boost into it and make sure I have plenty of boost available to retro thrust or like thrust backwards. But I like to keep it nice and slow here. Not worth wasting 30 minutes of time to save you 15 seconds of landing time. Just not worth it. In a mall, you do need to have your VTOLs on. Prospector is not necessary, but I do find it helpful. And then I always like to go in for what I think of as the drone camera. Oh, let's see. Well, we're still alive. It all counts. All right. I usually like to auto land, but yeah, like I said, that's why you might even want to turn your speed limiter down to half, if you're being honest. I think this will count it. I think we'll be fine. You do want to get it into storage, and I didn't check the exact amount. I think we were at about 26 SCUs. Which is a lot of money. A lot of money. Okay, then you have two options once you get to the station. So you can actually just turn this in for straight up cash right away for unrefined ore. A lot of people just prefer to do that. There are a lot of benefits to it, and I'll walk you through what those are when we get down there. So you do want to come in here. You want to just hit store. Once it stores, you're good to go. It shows that it has 32 cargo. Locked, loaded. Happy man. The increased speed in elevators makes this a more valuable prospect in the Prospector. You're welcome for that. Just makes this go a lot faster. The refinery, like if you are flying around the station, is like all the way outside of the base station where I was landing at. You see how there's all those spindle arms? I know that because playing with a friend, they could see where I was, and I've seen it happen to other people. So basically, you can come down here, grab a snack. You can eat that whenever, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to walk you through that. That's where you rent the Prospector if you want to just do ore mining. But this is where you sell your stuff. I mostly walked in there so you got a reference point. It's the same at every refinery station. So you can come directly to ore sales. And you can dump off all of this ore. And it looks like here I'm going to make about 110K. So not a bad haul. 110K for half hours of work is fine. But changing this into 45 minutes of work by coming over to Refinement Center and going ahead and plopping in all of this is gonna be good for me. And I already have a work order here. So there are three. You're gonna choose your location. You're gonna set up a work order. You're gonna choose your method. Pyrometric chromolysis. You get a quote first. And I only do the Quantanium, by the way, especially when there's such minor values. It saves you some money. It's all you want to have. This one is a 95% yield rate, but the most expensive. So it cost me $31,000 to just process that one. Fair on exchange is I believe the middle option. You only want to go for the 95% conversion. You want as much of that as you can. So fair on exchange, you can do it in about 12 hours. It costs you about $10,000. And then Dinnick solventation is going to be the cheapest option, and it'll usually take over a day. And that goes up depending on what the capacity of the current Helio is. So there's also a surcharge associated with it. So it does cost you a little bit more money to go to a busy station. But the ones that are usually close proximity that save you time, and time is money, as we've all learned through this video series, usually just costs you a little bit more. About $5,000 is really not bad. I only have 38K though, so for me, I'm honestly contemplating going and dropping that off. But I will get 2,400 yield of Quant. It sells for, you can go to a calculator, but it's been a stable 88 for a long time. So I'm going to net over 200,000 from 45 minutes of work. Now, why do you say 45 minutes? This only took you 30. After all your explanations and flight time that could have been adjusted and the intro that you gave, that's only 30. Well, I add 15 minutes. And honestly, it's probably too much. It's probably not quite 15, especially if you're using a fast XL1 drive. But you need to get a ship that can carry all this. You need to load it on that ship. And then once you've loaded it on that ship, you need to fly that to Area 18. Sometimes that selling exchange place is busted there, so you gotta fly up to Hurston. So you gotta choose one of these two planets basically to go fly to then sell your stuff at a TDD. I've done a video on how to do that in the past, so I'm not going to do that now. I'm not going to add that time because you could have made 110K, cool, easy money, no conflict, no worries, no sweat cash, just from running that quick churn and burn of that Quantanium. So, and had I known somebody with an Argo and had we gone team mined that cluster, we could have topped off on some of those larger rocks with even more money and cashed in at an even greater value. Even if we just were both team flying prospectors, it would work out that way too. So for me, this was a good happy medium. I made about this same amount of money. So in the other one, I only found one rock, but it took me only about 20 minutes to mine, as you saw here. What was it? 1,800? Might have been 1,600. Yeah, 1,600 SCUs. So this is about 141,000. Take a little off the top. So it's probably about 135 that I made in what I'll call 35 minutes. So this one is still a better deal, but they're pretty darn close if you're averaging those out. So I think you can pretty reliably count on, in a 2-hour period total, you can go out for 3 mining runs, bring those back, and then go do 1 dump, and you can easily make 600,000 in a 2-hour period. So that's still, 300K per hour. Really good, not really scary, not super dangerous. And it's something that I really enjoy doing. So let me know what you guys all think down in the comments down below. Was this something that you found valuable? Have you enjoyed this video series? Are there things you'd like me to add to these missions? Did you feel like I missed out on something that was really, really valuable? Hint, hint, it's not bunkers. That's a bunch of BS, and you can't convince me otherwise. Too many variables about you dying and ending up somewhere else, and people who do those videos aren't giving you the average. They're just giving you the sweet spot to get you to watch their video, and I'm not going to do that with you guys. So, but let me know if you think I missed something. Until next time, good luck out there. Have some fun. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.